All right, lesson 3.3. Today we're continuing our work with solving equations. This time we're looking at ones where we have a couple of extra steps here at the beginning. So if you want to read through these 4 steps, they do have the instructions for how to solve problems like this. I'm going to kind of skip over these and we're just going to talk about the problems that we have here. All right, problem number 1. Okay, so typically when we do these problems, we start out with something like this, right? Like we don't have this minus 3x over here. So what we're doing today is looking at what do we do if it's a little bit more complicated. The biggest takeaway from today's lesson is to clean up each side of your equation before you start doing stuff to both sides. So for example, over here on the left, I've got 2x and a negative 3x. Okay, well if I didn't have anything, like if I wasn't looking at the right side, I would just combine those, right? 2x minus 3x. Well, I know that's just negative 1x, right? I can combine those two and get negative 1x. And I still have plus 4. Now notice I'm not doing anything to the other side because I was just combining like terms here on the left. So I still have this all equal to negative 18. And now I look and I see, okay, there's nothing else I can do over here. No more like terms. So now I can proceed to solve this equation. So the highlights for solving, don't forget, whatever's with your x, whatever's with your variable, save it for the last thing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to deal with this 4. Now to get rid of it, I'm going to subtract 4 because 4 minus 4 is 0, right? That can be canceled out. Now we've got to keep things fair and balanced, so we have to also subtract 4 from the right side. So now I've got negative 1x equals, and that's going to subtract, and we're going to get negative 22. Last but not least, don't forget we cannot leave a negative number here, right? Just positive 1 is okay. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1, because negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1, right? They leave us with just x. Do it to the other side, and I've got x equals positive 22. Okay, don't forget to check your answer really quickly and easily. We're going to use, instead of x, we're going to use the number we think x is. And in our case, what do we think it is? Well, we think that it is positive 22. So we're going to go ahead and use 22 for our x value. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this in my calculator just like we see it here. So we're going to do 2 times 22. And then we've got plus 4. And we've got minus 3 times 22. And when I press enter, I should get negative 18. And I do. So we know that we're right. Okay. I'm going to move on to the next thing. Here we go. Problem number 2. All right. So in this problem, again, there's technically a couple different things we could do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of the parentheses first because I think that's just a good first step. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. Sorry, not both sides by 3. We're going to distribute the 3. So 3 times 2x is 6x. And 3 times 4 is a positive 12. And I still just have negative 18. Okay, well this is great. This is what we're used to. So I'm going to save the 6 for the last thing. I'm going to get rid of this 12 first. I'm going to subtract 12 because 12 minus 12 is 0. Do it to both sides. Now I've got 6x is equal to, let's see, we get negative 30. Okay, next we're going to divide both sides by 6. And I'm left with x is equal to negative 5. Okay, don't forget to check your answer here. I'm going to just go ahead and do it over here on the side. So we got 3 parentheses 2. Now instead of typing in x, I'm going to type in negative 5. Notice that I did use parentheses around the negative 5. And then we've got plus 4, close parentheses. When I press enter, I should get negative 18, which I guess is a coincidence. I got negative 18 the first time. Oh well. And I get negative 18 this time. Awesome. All right, so I know that I am correct. Problem number 3. All right, in problem number 3, here is what a lot of students do. A lot of students try and distribute this 10, which doesn't work because it's not the number that's touching the parentheses. Sometimes students put a -1 right here, which is great. And then they say this is 9 times 2x. Guys, that doesn't work. You can't do this first. Okay? Order of operations tells us to get rid of the parentheses first. So we're going to notice that that must be a -1. And we're going to distribute the -1. So the 10 is just kind of staying the same for now. So we got -1 times 2x, which is a -2x. And we got -1 times 3, which is a -3. And this is going to be equal to 25. All right, now we can simplify this left side a little bit. Guys, we should definitely do that first. So I'm going to notice that 10 and -3 are on the left side together. So I'm just going to add them up. 10 minus 3 is 7. But I still have that -2x there. And I get 25. Okay, now this looks like what I'm used to. Even though it's kind of mixed up right here, doesn't matter, right? We can still solve. So since I have a +7, I'm going to subtract 7. 7 minus 7 is 0. Got to do it to both sides here. So now I've got 2x equals 18. Do you see my mistake? Give yourself a second. All right, did you guys notice that I forgot to write this negative? Makes a huge difference, guys. Watch out for those signs, okay? They get you. And now we're going to divide both sides by -2, and we get x is equal to -9. Okay, again, I'm going to quickly check our answer. So I've got 10 minus parentheses 2, and then parentheses around my substitution, which in this case is -9. And then I've got plus 3. Okay, when I press enter this time, I should be getting 25. And I do. Awesome. Problem number 4. All right, problem number 4. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start this problem, but let me start by saying there's a few things you could do first, but I think most of us feel comfortable taking care of the parentheses first, and I think that's a good first step. So here we go. 1/2 times 4 is the same as saying 4 divided by 2, or just use your calculator, guys. If you're not sure, you can do alpha y equals. You can type in 1/2 times 4. All right, if you feel more comfortable doing that. Did I press the times button? No. All right, so times 4. And we get 2. All right, so we've got 2k. 1/2 times -8 is a -4. And we're done distributing, but we still have this +2, and we have equal to 7. Okay, again, these are like terms, right? I can combine these two terms right here. So really what I've got is 2k, -4 plus 2 is -2 equals 7. Now we're going to start solving, right? Nothing else we can do to simplify, so now we can start solving. Now notice this -2 is a negative, so we're going to add 2 this time. Remember, your goal is to get 0. So -2 plus 2 is 0. Same thing on the right side, and we get 9 over there. So we've got 2k is equal to 9. All right, last but not least, divide both sides by 2. And we've got k is equal to 4.5. Okay, again, if you want to leave this as 9/2, that's also fine. Same thing. All right, don't forget to check your answer. Here we go. So we've got 1/2. So I'm doing alpha y equals 1/2. Okay, oops. Now I've got parentheses and I've got 4. And for k, I'm using 4.5 minus 8. Close parentheses. Don't forget about that +2. When I press enter, I should get 7, right? I should get 7. And I do. So I know that I'm right. Okay, big takeaway from today's lesson, guys. Simplify each side of your equation before you start trying to solve. And don't forget to check those answers.